Hi, this is Katrina Adams, and you're listening to Brothers on Tennis.
Yo, yo, yo. What's up, everybody? This is your boy Isaac.
And this is your boy Bryce.
And we, of course, are Brothers on Tennis. And we're coming at you today because, we got some tennis things popping off. We got Palermo that just wrapped up. We got the top seed up in Lexington that's popping off. And the draws have come out. So we definitely want to talk about what we're seeing in those draws, which is, oh, Jesus. And as well as any other things, we've got, news on just how tennis is doing in regards to, the pandemic and the Rona and this, that, and the other. So we feel like we come at you, talk about a few things, see if there's some things that you all are hearing about that we may not know about and want to speak on. And we'll go from there. Bryce, how you doing this Sunday, brother?
I'm doing good, and I tell you what, my dog is looking at me like you have not walked me yet today. And I see you done put this whole microphone situation up, and I know what that normally means. And if the sun is going down, and I'm wondering, am I going to get an opportunity to get out here and do my sniff thing today? So we're going to probably try to keep this fairly short so that I don't have my dog looking at me crazy for the rest of the night. Go ahead and get him out. But other than that, I am doing really, really good. Just as I'll continue to say, very exciting that the world of tennis is getting going. It's starting up. It's ramping up. We've been waiting on this for quite a while. So just very excited about that.
Absolutely. So, folks, tennis kicked off last week. The WTA had the Palermo event. And, I watched a good deal of those matches, man. They were really, really competitive. Mm-hmm. I mean, good way for them to get back. Always nice seeing folks sliding around on the clay, even though there wasn't too much sliding, but it was still pretty good, man. Those quarterfinal matchups were good, man. I was actually checking out Camilla, Camilla Georgia. Camilla, don't turn your back on me, Georgia. I tell you what, Camilla was playing some ball. I was shocked that she got up on Yastrzemska. I was very surprised.
Yastrzemska was actually my pick to win the tournament.
Yep.
And but like you said, that Georgie, you cannot you can't count her out. I mean, because she's going to come out there and she's going to whack the ball as hard as she can, and guess what? Some of the times that ball goes in. So
Exactly. And I tell you what, kudos to Camilla Georgia because I guess maybe I didn't recognize it, but she is a very, very fit young lady. Yeah. I mean, there ain't an ounce of fat on that young lady. I mean, she is in good shape, and I can see now why she hit the ball so hard. Because I mean, when you lean like that, yeah, you can get it done. So it looked like she couldn't quite get it done against Farrow, who ended up taking the entire title. Which I mean, call that crazy. It's surprise. It's like, is that going to be how things end up going these few tournaments here? But yeah, Contavate, I thought she was going to do some things, and she ended up getting slapped up in the final, and she ended up beating Petra Martic. We always end up seeing Petra Martic somewhere, and she always ends up being in the draw someplace, and she did really good. She made it to the semis, but Kontovic was like, "I don't get out of here. I ain't got time for you." Just crazy, Bryce, but good tennis though overall.
You know what's funny about Martic?
So
she is the one.
Go ahead.
Oh, what's funny about Martic is she is the one player that I never think about. I never think about her being in the draw, and I never hear any player saying, "Ooh, I wonder where Martic is in the draw." I mean, it just. I don't know why I don't think about her at all because she's in the top 20, right?
Oh,
I think,
yeah,
right? Yeah,
top 15,
so,
I believe.
Okay, somebody in the top 15 should be somewhere at the top of my head. So, but anyway, I just want to say I think the real victory though last week was that once again another tournament was able to show that they were able to successfully hold the tournament all the way through without anyone catching the Rona without anyone having to be withdrawn or anything like that. So, once again, I think if we can continue this pattern of having successful tournaments and not having the Rona get in there and mess things up, we may be pretty good going forward.
I completely agree with that, Bryce. I mean, it's and I think that's the thing is you have to keep showing that level of consistency so that you can have an event. No, nothing pops off. No Rona. Everybody does what they're supposed to do and are expected to do. If we can keep that trend up, I really believe that the tournaments that are at least on the calendar for this year will continue and they will be held. Granted, of course, you always have to look at what's going on in that particular country because it could be spiking, and that also, of course, weighs into it. But tennis as a whole, handle what you can handle. And if you can keep folks in the bubble, following the rules, then that's basically that's going to at least allow us to be successful. So you hit it on the head, brother. I absolutely agree.
Right.
Yeah.
And before we get into this whole top seed open draw, I wanted to acknowledge I saw, and I forgot the name, it's something like We Are Not the Dan Patrick Show, which I love that name. They were saying that they're in Australia and they were bummed that Ash Barty was not going to be at the U.S. Open and wanted to know, who did we think was going to win. Let me be real clear about one thing. Well, a couple things. Number one, thanks for the comment. Number two, we agree with you. We love Ash Barty. Would have loved to have seen her here at the U.S. Open. But number three, my pick for any major at this point in time is Serena Williams. All right? I just, there's nobody else I'm going to pick over Serena while she is out there playing and still playing at the level that she's at. Now, whether she'll do it or not, whether she'll get in the finals and take that L for the fifth time, I don't know. But in terms of who I'm saying is going to win, I can't say anybody but Serena at this point. I mean, Isaac, what do you think?
Well, and I agree with you. I think, of course, Serena's always the sentimental favorite. She's the queen. She's, the person that we really advocate for, of course, on this podcast. And like I said, given the scenario and the situation, she's coming off of a break. She's had time to spend with her family, with her husband, with her daughter. She's energized now. She's got good energy. She should have positive energy. And really and truly, she should be able to get in there and get it done. And I'm just really hoping that that's the case, because I think we've talked about this on several occasions before. If Serena wins number 24, and she ties Margaret Court, the floodgates are going to open. Her game is just going to let loose. And I honestly believe, and like I said, I think that if she can win this year, look out for 2021. Serena might be trying to do a Stephanie. Seriously, bro.
That would be amazing. I mean, we know that's a big feat, and it's easy for us to verbalize that, right? But I think you're absolutely right, because Serena has shown in the past when she's made it through that kind of little speed bump and hitting another level in terms of the number of Grand Slam singles titles. Once she surpassed that, she has gone on a run, and we hope that happens again.
Right.
Just real quick, also in U.S. Open news, the announcement just came out in the past day that Stan, the man, will not be coming to the U.S. Open. So that's important news, because in the absence of Rafa and in the absence of Roger, Stan is absolutely one of those players that we had in the mix of who could potentially win it. He's won it before, and he would have to be in that top 5 or 6 people that you would have to give a chance to win again. So now with him out of the mix, it ups chances for some other people.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely. And, as we were talking about, we were hoping to have the storyline of it being, not about the big three, but it does look like Djokovic is going to be there. Which is kind of like, ugh. But, it's disappointing at the same time that, Stan won't be there. But, hey, Andy pretty much has locked in his spot. Andy Murray is saying, I will be there. And like I said, it'll be interesting to see, how many others, try to play because of the fact that apparently they are going to have some type of a 14-day quarantine coming back to Europe from the U.S. So we'll see how many players can kind of deal with that, and because it does kind of hamper their clay preparation a little bit. But it'll be interesting to see which players decide that they don't want to, to kind of deal with that. I tell you what, Dominique Thiem will be here though.
We know Dominic. Hey, see ball, hit ball. If there's a ball bouncing somewhere, he's gonna try to get there and hit it.
Right.
And let me add one other thing about my disappointment of Stan not being there.
Yeah.
Stan is one of the few people that we know can beat a Djokovic in a big match. And there's not a whole lot of those people out there. And he's one of the few. And so if I did think Djokovic was going to have any competition, which he still will, one of his big adversaries, especially because he's lost to him in 2 Grand Slam finals?
2, that's right.
He's not going to have to worry about Stan the man.
Right. Yeah. We'll it'll be interesting to see what what the field looks like, what the draw looks like, matchups. As we saw with this with this top seed tournament, the draw makes a huge difference, and it's just yeah. So just real quick, Justin, I see your question about the top 20 threatening to boycott if the quarantine rule isn't lifted. I believe I heard that they are not doing that, so that is no longer an issue. So Isaac, correct. I heard the same, Bryce.
Okay, good. So that my dog doesn't bite me, let's jump on this top seed open. So the draw came out, right? And let's just start with some absences that we did not initially expect. So first of all, let's start with doubles, right? So we had heard that a wild card had been given to the Williams sisters to play doubles. I don't know if I guess they changed their mind because I'm sure the tournament didn't take it back. But they are not in the doubles draw. And also, Kim Clijsters, who was supposed to have been playing, she was given a wild card in singles and doubles. She doesn't appear to be in either draw. So those are 2 absences that we did not anticipate. But I will tell you this. This is something that we're going to have to get used to probably for a while with every tournament. Because I think a lot of players will be making a decision kind of in the midnight hour of whether they participate in a particular tournament or not. So I don't think, back in the day where you could see who the entry list was 2 weeks ago and you can kind of depend on that, I don't think that's the case in these days. I think you won't know the final draw makeup until day 1 of the tournament. What do you think, Isaac?
Absolutely agree with that, Bryce. I mean, it's tough right now. Like I said, people have the right to change their mind, and that to me is it's based on what is going on in the world today. And if you don't feel comfortable, then you have the right to say, you know what, even though I did say I will be there, I'm sorry, based on some other concerns, I'm now going to back out. Or if things start looking better, and you can say, hey, things look like they're shaping up a little bit better. Hey, can I get back in there? There's just going to be a level of up and down that tournaments and the fans and everyone else are going to have to deal with and expect and not be too frustrated about, because that's just simply what we have to deal with during this pandemic.
Right. So the 3 wild cards that we do have in the draw are Shelby Rogers. So that's good for an American. Vera Zvonareva. It still kills me that Vera is still out there chugging along.
She's working it, man.
Yeah, gotta love her for that.
Absolutely.
And then we have Cincinnati homegirl, Katie McNally.
Right.
We know Katie a little more right now as the doubles partner of Coco Gauff, but I think recently in World Team Tennis, a lot of people got a chance to see this young lady has a lot of game, and I think she's going to be one of the ones to keep your eye on going forward.
Absolutely agree with that. Yeah, Katie McNally is no joke, man. Her and Coco Gauff in the doubles. I mean, she had a great showing against Serena, I believe, last year at the U.S. Open.
Yes.
I mean, didn't she take Serena to 3 sets? Or maybe it was 2 tough sets.
At least 2 tough.
It was 2 tough sets. Yeah. So Katie McNally, again, folks, is no joke. If you do not know about this young lady, do your research. She is the real deal. She's going to be bringing it. And like I said, I love the partnership that she has with Coco in the doubles side. I just think that those 2 young ladies are fantastic. Yep.
Okay, one of our viewers here is telling us that yes, it was 3 sets. So
yeah, and what? Okay,
yeah,
there you go. Mm-hmm.
Great. And see, this is how we do this show. It's not just me and Isaac. You
yeah,
know,
it's all of
this
us.
is a community thing. So if we need y'all to get online and to look something up, we need y'all to have your laptops and your iPhones on the ready. All right. Thank you.
And yes, she will serve a volley on you. Katie McNally will do that.
Yes, absolutely. So, actually, before we get to the main draw, the Top Seed Open is in the final round of the qualifying. So, there will be 6 people that will make it into the main draw from qualifying. And we've got some very interesting people that I don't think everybody would want to see in the first round.
That's the truth. That's the truth, man.
Who are some of the people you think, Isaac, would be big coming out of qualifying?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, and this is just because I love her, and it's Bethany Maddox-Sands. I mean, Bethany, I love Bethany. I really do. I love her doubles game. I mean, her singles game is very interesting. She's kind of one of those kind of like Brad Gilbert kind of player. She just plays whatever it takes for her to win. That's how she's going to play, and that's how she does in her singles as well. So sometimes it works out, sometimes maybe not so much, but I just love Bethany a lot. And the fact that she's in qualies and she's got a chance to make the main draw is, to me, just awesome. So I love me some Bethany.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
How about you, bro? How about you? Who you kind of looking at?
I'm looking a little bit at that Leylah Fernandez. She had a really nice stretch going there before the Rona hit. And if she's able to, and we saw her play in the South Carolina tournament, and she looked pretty good there. So depending upon where she lands in the draw, she might get a round or 2 under her belt.
I absolutely agree with that. Yeah, she's lefty, Canadian. I like that young lady. She's young, too. She's only 17 or 18. She's not very old. So
no, she's young.
Yeah, and I'm so happy to see Caroline Dolehide up in there as well. She was up in there, World Team Tennis. I've always kind of liked her. I think she ended up having a little bit of an injury, so she's been all out. But now it looks like she's healthy. She played South Carolina. Looks like she's getting ramped up. So I'm definitely excited to see what Dolehide can do as well. Because she partnered with Taylor. It was her and Taylor that were doubles during WTT. So let's see what. And quietly, Bryce, where is Taylor? I thought she was gonna be in this draw.
No, I think she's in the Western and Southern qualifying or wild card, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Not wild card because we know who those 5 wild cards are, but I think she's in the qualifying of Western and Southern.
Got it. Okay, well, we'll have to look for her next week then. Yeah.
Right. So as we review the main draw for this Top Seed Open, we don't know who 6 of the players are that are going to be in these qualifying spots. So as we kind of walk through this, when we get to qualifier, we'll just have to kind of leave that as that. But, Isaac, start us off. Let's start at the top of the draw for the main draw. And what are you thinking, buddy?
Oh Bryce, you see me shaking my head here. You see me shaking my head. I was so disappointed when this draw came out because, first of all, to have all these big names in this tournament, you want them to be spread out because you want them to be able to find their form so that in the latter rounds, the quarters, the semis, that's when we want them to meet up. So I saw this draw and I was just looking at that first quarter of death. And I'm just sitting here like, no. I don't want Venus meeting Azarenka in the first round, and then the winner of that is likely going to play Serena. It's like, come on, man. What kind of a draw is that? And then the next round after that, which is pretty much the quarters, they'll likely end up facing Sloane if she can if she can get her, be right. Yeah, I know, right? Shelby might. Right, Shelby might be wait a minute, Isaac.
Right. I'm not putting any money on Sloane Stephens right now. I always want her to win unless she's playing Venus or Serena. But, yeah, she just, her recent track record, I don't know.
Yeah. So, brother, for me, it was very disappointing seeing that first quarter with, again, 3 sisters up in that quarter. That was very disappointing to me. And again, even Azarenka, I love me some Azarenka, which is so weird for me to say because before, remember a long time ago, I was really not a big fan of Azarenka, but now she done had the baby, she done came back. I like Victoria Azarenka. I really do.
Right. So, I do too. Yeah.
So to have her and Venus have to match up in the first round, it's like Venus knows she'd be unlucky with these daggone first round matches. Coco Gauff then got up on her a couple times, and you never know, though. I mean, she might be able to handle up on Vika because I actually think Venus is her. But I thought her record was pretty good against Azarenka. No,
records don't mean anything with Venus anymore. And I can say that with all the love in my heart for Venus Williams, but yeah.
So So I'm giving my opinion, bro. What's your opinion on this first quarter?
Well, I think top seed set this up. They didn't know whether the tournament was going to finish or not, so they said, we're going to get these good matches in early. We saw Serena's first round para play in World Team Tennis, and so we know that'll be a nice first round for her, but she should win that. Yes. I expect honestly, Azarenka did not look great to me in South Carolina.
She did not.
So I'm going to say the Azarenka-Venus match is a toss-up, actually. That's the best I can do, is give that a toss-up. But I would fully expect for Serena to win against either one of those.
Right.
Shelby Rogers and Masaki Doi, toss-up. And Sloane Stephens versus a qualifier toss-up. So, I mean, by all rights, it should probably be Serena and Sloane.
Right.
Where, once again, there's no way that I'm not picking Serena to get through that quarter. But I agree with you. It would have been nice to have had a couple of those players in other parts of the draw, but
it would have been nice, but I mean, it is what it is. We got what we got, so. But I agree with you. Serena should come out of that top there, and that the next quarter is kind of interesting as well. The fact that you've got Anna Samova, she should beat up on Cici Bellis pretty good.
She should.
Yeah, Bellis is just kind of getting back in there anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The next. Pegula Zvonareva, that actually could be pretty interesting. I think Pegula's going to.
I think she's going to pull that out.
Yeah.
I think she's going to pull that out.
Yep. I agree. I don't really know Teichmann very well.
Mm-hmm.
She's from Switzerland, but not sure about her. And then the Tomljanovic and Putintseva. Putintseva, she feisty.
Yeah. But I don't know, Tomljanovic, she got some game. And I think all that practicing with her boyfriend Berrettini,
yep.
I think she's ready. So I expect if I had to call this quarter, believe it or not, I would say Pegula Putintseva, because actually pick Pagula over Anisimova. Anisimova, and yes, in all the matches I've seen Anisimova, she's played in a couple of these exhibitions leading up. She hasn't looked great in any of them to me.
True. Well, and that's very true. That's very true. I wonder though, for her, is it because they are just that? They're exhibitions and nothing's really quote unquote on the line? I actually think I'm gonna pick Anisimova to come out of that one.
Okay,
Yeah.
it definitely could happen. But okay.
No, and I see what you're saying as well. Because again, Pagula looked great. She
looked good in World
awesome.
Team Tennis.
Yes.
Well, she was that team's MVP, really.
Exactly.
So that was.
Yep.
You know that was key. So let's go to the third quarter, which is in the second half of the draw. You have Lynette Poland against Lauren Davis. Toss up. Jen Brady against Heather Watson. I'm taking Jen Brady in that one.
I'm taking Jen Brady as well, brother.
Okay. Blinkova against the qualifier. Toss up. And Konta versus Bruskova. I guess Konta. I mean, Konta hasn't looked the greatest either.
Correct. And I just don't think that coming out of the gates, Joanna Konta is going to be, doing really much, because she to me is one of those players that needs reps, because her style is so kind of, I hate to say robotic, but it's just not as fluid. So I think she needs reps, and I don't know that that's going to be the case for her. I'm actually picking Jennifer Brady to come out of that quarter.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's on a roll. She showed out in World Team Tennis, and I just really feel like she's going to take them down.
Okay, and we have somebody saying Bruskova is good, so that's gonna be. And wait a minute, before we go any further, shout out to my Fafi. I think that's how you pronounce it. She told us ahead of time that she was gonna join us 3 a.m. UK time. So
thank you. So much love for that.
Yeah, I want to give you a shout out for that. Anyway, the last quarter.
I know, right?
Jabeur against McNally in the first round. That may be the first round match to watch.
Well, I mean, outside of Venus and Vika, but
yeah, I guess.
Bryce, shame on you.
You're right. As right, Venus.
That'll be my second one though, for sure. Jabeur
Right.
and McNally is definitely, because I tell you what, Jabeur got game. I
does.
love her game. Yes,
she does.
And we got Katie. Katie serving volley on you, and she ain't scared of nobody. So
nope.
I absolutely believe you, brother. That one is going to be an outstanding first round matchup for sure. And I think it's coming on tomorrow too, right?
Yeah, it is. It is
when they were scheduled.
Right. By the way, tomorrow's matches are going to be a kind of a mix of the final round of qualifying plus some of the matches in the bottom half of the draw.
Right.
And see, the winner of that match gets to play the battle of two qualifiers. Now,
that's right.
Sometimes you might say, oh, that's a nice thing, but based upon some of those people that we named that are in the qualifying, you might not want that matchup. Who's coming out of there. So
exactly.
And then the next round, or not the next round, but down the next level, you have a qualifier versus Miss Coco Gauff. So surprised that she wasn't put in the first quarter of this draw. But I mean,
I know, right?
But I guess we're definitely going with Coco over whoever is on. Who comes out of the qualifying. I didn't see anybody in qualifying that I would be scared for Coco Gauff for.
No, I agree with you 100%. I think Coco should be able to get past any of the qualifiers that we named. I mean, if she's fit and she's, ready to go, I think her game should get her past anybody that we mentioned for sure.
Right, right. And then the final first round match is Madison Bringle against Sabalenka. Now, help me remember, Isaac, is
Yeah.
Bringle the one with the broke serve?
The frying pan, yes.
Yeah, she got the frying pan broke serve. Yeah, Sabalenka gonna beat all of that up. Uh, so,
Yeah, she should at least. Because, I mean, hey, when we saw her in that qualifier in Newport Beach, she was putting that frying pan serve on some ladies. So,
yeah, I guess
you never
so.
know if how Bringle's gonna come out there. But she's fun. I actually like her game. But no,
Nope.
Sabalenka should spank up on her though.
Right. Sabalenka wasn't at that challenger. Yeah. Sabalenka would have broke that in half. So, hey, Juan, we see you out there.
Hey. What's up, Juan? What's up, brother?
So let's do this, Isaac. Let's go ahead and let's just jump to the final. Let's jump to the finals. You know.
Yeah.
Who do you see as the two finalists to battle for this title?
Oh, this is really it's an interesting draw. Like I said, at tops, I expect Serena to make the final. I just do.
Right.
I think that she should. She looks good. She's, her game should be right. She should make the final on the top half.
Right.
On the bottom half, I'm hesitant to go with Coco Gauff only because, like I said, I'm thinking Jennifer Brady has really, really played some good tennis, and I'm that second round between Coco and Sabalenka.
Right.
I'm just gonna put Sabalenka in that second round there. That's gonna be an interesting matchup. And so I'm kind of going back and forth. My heart, of course, says I want Coco up in the final against Serena. I think that would be outstanding.
Right. Yeah.
My head is telling me it's probably going to end up being Jim Brady.
Okay.
What about you, brother?
And we know Patrick Mouratoglou would love that final as well.
Yeah.
But I like you am going with Serena from the top half, and I honestly think I'm going to go with the bottom half between the winner of the Sabalenka Coco Gauff match.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say because that's going to be a big win for either one of them, and it may give them the confidence to go all the way through. Are there still some dangerous players? Yes, Jen Brady. And let me tell you a theory I have as well.
Okay.
If Coco Gauff ends up having to play Katie McNally, that could be a problem for her. Because you have to remember with Coco Gauff, it's one thing to always be this little 15, 16-year-old that's playing against these veterans where there's no pressure against you. They don't really know your game that well yet. You sneak in there and you do your thing. All right? How many times have we seen big players lose to their hitting partners, right? So you've got Coco Gauff playing against someone who has a very aggressive game, who's playing very well right now, who has spent a lot of time with Coco Gauff, hitting with her, knows Coco's game a lot. The pressure in that match would be on Coco Gauff. Right. And so it will be very interesting to see how she handles that situation because she hasn't really been in that situation yet on the Pro Tour. I'm not saying Katie's going to win, but it could be tricky. It could be tricky.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with it. I don't disagree at all because, like you said, anytime you've got people who have played, with one another, practice courts, what have you, it just levels the playing field because you know what their ball feels like and you kind of know some of their thought process. So that weighs very heavily when you're actually in a competitive match. You tend to be able to kind of adjust and understand what are some of the things that they're going to try and do. So I absolutely agree with you. Yeah, if somehow or another it ended up being a McNally Coco quarter, it would be interesting. It would be very interesting to see who would come out of that. Yeah. Yeah.
And Juan has given us some insight. He's saying that Joe Conta is looking good right now. I didn't know that. I haven't really seen her play. So that match against Buskova could be big.
Could be good. Could be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it will be good. Like I said, because Conta's big game. I mean, let's not forget she's made runs and she's been in the top 10 if I'm not mistaken before. So
right.
yeah. So she got the game. I'm just curious. I haven't seen her, so of course I've always kind of felt like Joanna Conta needs reps in order to really play her best tennis. And because I haven't seen her, I just assumed that she hadn't been getting reps. But according to Juan, he's saying that she's been playing and apparently looks good. So hey, we'll see what she's bringing to the court.
Right. Well, before we get out of here, let's just real briefly touch on this doubles draw because there are a couple of interesting teams in there. And in the top half of the draw, obviously the number 3 seed is McCoco.
Yeah, McCoco.
So we have Corey Goff, Coco Goff, and Catherine McNally. I would like to say they should make it to the finals, and in the top half. But in the bottom half, you have a couple of interesting teams. Obviously, the number 2 seed, Jen Brady and Sabalenka. That's a very strong team. I would also say Zvana Reva and Blinkova can be a sneaky good team. Zvana Reva, remember, is an amazing doubles player, and Blinkova is pretty good herself. But the team that I'm most interested in the bottom half is a wild card with Bethany Maddox-Sands, who is, one of our favorite doubles players, and Sloane Stephens. Now, got love for Sloane, but don't know that Sloane is going to really help Bethany a whole lot there. She looked, decent in that final World Team Tennis match, but we all know, that's not a slight on Sloane. Sloane just isn't much of a doubles player.
Right. Yeah, she just doesn't play that much, but she's got good hands, and I think that she did show well at like you said, at that last match that they played in the championship when Chicago unfortunately went down to New York. But you know what? I think that it's good for them to get in there, get some reps. In my eyes, Bethany always needs to be on the doubles court because her doubles game is just wicked. It is silly. Right. So the fact that she's playing with Sloane, hey, I maybe they're trying to make up for, like you were saying, make up for not being able to close out Coco and Malakar in that World Team Tennis match. They like we could do better. Just let's try some things. So yeah, I tell you what, I would love to see them and McCoco in the finals.
I'm sorry, I'm just laughing because I'm looking at the people right now all busting on Sloane. And by the way, anyone that's listening to this as a podcast, and I should have made this statement at the very beginning, we are doing an IG Live, so we're interacting a bit with the people that are online with us. So excuse us if it seems like we're going a little crazy here on some of the comments, but yeah, that just made me laugh. Oh my goodness! But anyway, this being the second tournament that is going to be on tour since we've resumed, even though there were a few pullouts, it still looks like it's going to be a very exciting tournament, and I, for one, am going to be locked in and watching.
Absolutely. So. Definitely going to be locked into those first couple of rounds. That's for daggone sure.
Right.
We'll unfortunately end up missing a whole bunch of folk if we don't.
Right, exactly.
We'll be like, oh, dang, they out already? Dang.
Right. So, well, look, we're going to go ahead and end this because, like I said, I'm not trying to have issues with my dog tonight. But we just wanted to jump on real quick, everyone, and give a real quick review of this draw because we have some big names that are in there. The Tennis Channel will be covering it, so please make sure that you go out there and watch. And we will, in one of our future episodes next week, we will absolutely be talking about the results of this tournament. So thank you for tuning in. This has been your boy Bryce.
And this is your boy Isaac.
And we're Brothers on Tennis. Everyone stay safe out there. Take care.